Hey everybody, welcome back. We're here. We're playing Isaac. 2 days in a row. I know the rumors of my demise greatly exaggerated. By the way, Azazel to the Lamb. You shouldn't have. Aw, game. I like you too. By the way, Tomo he's going crazy right now. He's reaching up like between my legs in front of my computer chair, and he's hidden my hands like pet me, pet me. Bro, come on, man. I'm trying to play Azazel. He's the hardest character in the game. But I love you too, Tomo. See? Very sweet. Tomo, genuinely, Tomo is, I'm trying to think of it. He's kind of like Phoebe from Friends. Maybe this is a reasonable metaphor. He's a little, idiosyncratic, you know? He's not a smelly cat, though. But he's an effortless cat to like. He's cute, like many cats. And I'm not saying this to be rude, but he has a certain furniture-like quality to him. Like when you go into your living room, you're like, there's the sofa, there's the coffee table, there's the TV, there's Tomo. It's just like he's. And again, I'm not being rude to my own feline son when I say this, but. He's like lovingly decorative. Maybe that's one way you could say it, okay? Ruka, on the other hand, he's a cat with ambition. And that's lovable in its own plucky sort of way. Like, Ruka's kind of like Chandler. It's like he's got a big brain, but it's possible that big brain is also getting into him of all sorts of trouble, Like, I'm Ruka. Could I be any more about to try to leave when you open the door to take the garbage out and then I'll just bolt into the street? That's like Ruka. So they got a real Phoebe Chandler thing going on. I would say that I'm Ross. Kate, of course, would then be Rachel. The baby, I mean... Right now, I'm not going to deny there's a certain Joey-ness, Especially, and this is not even what Joey says. Joey says, how you doing? But, like, when I pick her up from daycare now, she does go, hey. I think she picked it up. We're getting to that age where I think that you got to be careful what you say at home because the baby could mimic it outside of the home. So no swears, and also, like, I don't want people to necessarily know I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, because then it gives them the ability to weaponize that against me. However, when the cat is about to do something that I don't want the cat to do, hey, Tomo, hey, buddy, I don't know if you can go behind the computer anymore. There's a potted plant back there now, so I think your previous safe place... For your own safety, we decided to kind of block it off a little bit. But you can sleep on the Peloton, man. It's nice. I should not have used... Did I? Oh, it's bombs are key, you piece. So when there's something the cat is doing something and I don't want them to do it, I'll go, hey, and then now she started going, hey, Aka, which is like Ruka. Key me, thank you. Dude, this run is freaking cracked already. Feeling good. That's not so great, but there's a secret room here. You could just tell from the pixels. Not much interest in a shop, really, but you know what? Because we can use a bomb, why not? Oh, now that I see that there is a library, who knows? Streams have been good. I mean, really, like, everything's been pretty good lately. Temporarily, hopefully permanently, back on a little, what the heck? Back on, a little daycare schedule, getting a little bit more productive work done. January's almost over. Again, I don't want to dredge it up constantly, although that's kind of like the vibe I have right now, because my anecdotes are at an all-time low. But I don't think anybody's, like, sad to see January go. December, of course. A lot of Mariah Carey fans. January itself, though, the best, unless you have a personal connection, the best day of January is literally the best moment in January. The moment that defines the month is the moment after it turns midnight on January 1st. So, like, it's pretty much like, Happy New Year! And then the rest of the month, you're kind of just like, what the heck are we doing? Cold and gloomy. You get like a Try it. Okay. You get one warm day and you're like, winter is over. Then it snows 2 days later and you're like, what the heck was I thinking that winter is over? It's freaking January. February, not much better, but it's a start. A necessary stopover en route to March and April. Really, not a secret room. Hey, Tomo, I know you're confused, buddy. You're like, the place where I used to sleep, now there's a plant there. I hear you. We're going angel deals, man. I hear you. But you got this amazing mat here. This also would have been a great nickname for a magician, you know, back in the early 2000s. The amazing mat. Maybe, maybe not. I gotta say, too, I don't know. I think I reset myself this week. You know how electronic devices, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have like a very small hole with a reset button. And if you unfolded a paperclip, you could hit that reset button and send it back to its default state before it got all gunked up by data or whatever. You hit a wrong parental control or something like that. I think I did that to myself last night. And, you know, this is not private information. It's not a double entendre. I was like, I finished custodial housework, YouTube video setting, thumbnail creation, etc., at like 8:55. I normally start getting ready for bed at 9:30. Yes, I'm old. I got stuff to do in the morning. Like setting the new PB on the Peloton mat that Tomo won't sleep on right now. He'll come around. But I said to myself, you know what? I'm not doing anything else. Instead of just, it didn't even affect me. Look at that. Instead of just staying awake for like an extra 20 minutes because I don't go to bed for 20 minutes, what if I just went to bed? So I went to bed at like 9:22 or something like that after, you know, by the time I brushed my teeth and washed my face and stuff like that. I gotta tell you, it was a dream come true. You should really try it sometime if you get the opportunity. Belly Jelly. Yo, Belly Jelly's kind of sick. I remember this carried us on a run recently. I mean, it is a tier 3 item. I also forgot we had invincibility. Work with me, work with me. Tomo, I know you've jumped up on the desk again. We have a problem. You can't get behind the monitor. There's no space for the boy behind the monitor anymore. I'll still pet you. Don't get me wrong. You just... The behind the monitor area, there's wires, electrical devices connected to those wires. It's like, it's hot. We can't see you. You could be chewing on acoustic foam back there. It's just, you gotta be a little careful, you know? There was no need to buy that now that I think about it. There was a heart just sitting back there for us, but so be it. What's done is done. Sometimes you pay for convenience. Most of the things we pay for, I think we pay for convenience. We didn't need to save Monster Manuel either. Like, I can make a sandwich better than Subway, but sometimes I pay for the convenience of going to Subway so that I don't have to make a sandwich for myself. You've been there, I'm sure. I mean, what's, you know, one of the most, at least in terms of, like, number of transactions, what's one of the most popular companies right now? But not in terms of revenue or consumer sentiment at all, but in terms of how often weekly it's used by, you know, people in my age group and especially in my profession, is DoorDash and Uber Eats. The whole system just exists. We need to try to find a way to get Battery Baby, by the way, now. The whole system just exists out of convenience. It's no longer, like, we've taken it one level higher than I'm too lazy to make my own burrito. Now it's, I'm too lazy to... I refuse. And you can be a hater if you want to be a hater, but I genuinely refuse to use TM Trainer. It ruins the run. I wish it didn't, because it's like, it's zany, but it's zany in like the worst way possible. It's like, you know, what if we randomed all the matter on Earth so it was composed of like different elements? It's a really great idea until you realize, oh, where's the oxygen I'm supposed to breathe to, like, you know, survive and tell jokes? It's too much. I stand by that. But we've progressed from, I don't want to make dinner tonight, just order a pizza, to like, I don't even want to pick up dinner tonight. Just get someone else to pick it up for me. It's crazy. Then, that being said, do I do DoorDash? Yeah, from time to time. all night, oh, every night. Dun, 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 dun. That would be a great song for an Uber Eats advertisement. It would be. Any way you want it, that's the way you eat it. Any way you want it. But we may neglect to include your substitutions in the, you know. You gotta be... There's -2. Go ahead, -2 me. I deserve it. I didn't finish a coherent joke. That's is a non-starter. It's no contest, as they said in Smash Bros. When you quit out of a lobby because some fool left items on. No contest. But anyway, when you try to ask for a substitution for something in a restaurant or a special order, like, hey, no green onions, that's one thing. When you try to do it with DoorDash, you're really playing with fire. Like, you know, I would say when you make a substitution in a restaurant, my experience, and I don't substitute too often, I respect the integrity of the menu, as we've talked about myriad times, but I feel like in a restaurant, they're usually pretty good. You know, maybe you're looking at like 1 in 20, 1 in 12 that they miss your substitution and mess up your order. Maybe even less, honestly. Also depends whether you're at, you know, Burger King or, you know, the Fat Duck, I think. French Laundry. That being said, hold on, let's blow this up. I feel like with DoorDash, anytime you got to make a substitution, like, you're living on, you know, it's in God's hands at that point. There's so many. There's like the app, the printout of the receipt might cut off the substitution. The orders come in and they're supposed to have them, like, you know, bagged up for the dasher in like 6 minutes. You know, there's a lot of things going on that I think make it they might forget not to take the mushrooms off of your mushroom burger. That's all I'm saying. Because I know I've seen some nightmarish order slips on Reddit. People be ordering like the weirdest stuff. Concocting a McDonald's order so that you only receive like the buns from a Quarter Pounder with cheese and then like a Reese's Pieces McFlurry. Apparently happens all the time. Who knew? Someone in Justin's chat was telling the story of they worked for a restaurant. Somebody ordered a Fanta that came via Uber Eats. They ended up paying $14 for a single Fanta. I mean, that's just, I can't do it. There was one time I remember I was gonna order a Chipotle burrito on stream. Not for like a sponsored bit, just because I was like, man, I've been looking forward to this burrito all day. Like, Kate's away today. I'll just have a burrito, man. Screw it. Baby, you're worth it, right? Give me one of those, please. Thank you. Then I was doing the ordering, and my like $12 Canadian burrito was going to be like $23 by the time the order arrived in my hands. You may remember this. I think it was in the Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3 era that we went through semi-recently. I legitimately X'd out of the tab. I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not willing. I would rather starve, and then when the stream is over, I'll get myself something. Because that's too much. You're asking too much of me. That's too much money for something that has the cost written on it, and the cost is substantially less than the cost when it arrives. I genuinely also think this is a good use of our money. Even though, like, spending this much money to get, like, 3 wisps is not good, I do feel like, you know, when you consider that all of these intervals go up by 1, we'll be happy when we're going from, like, 12 wisps to 13 wisps. Correctional facilities. Sorry, I watched The Cable Guy last night. In bed when I was supposed to be sleeping at 9:22. But it's such an exciting movie, I couldn't put it down. When he sings Somebody to Love, when the truth is found to be lies. You gotta, look, you maybe under no circumstances do you have to hand it to Jim Carrey. I don't know, that's kind of like, you know, between you and him, I suppose. But certainly, the man has a singing voice. I don't think he's not simply an actor, comedian. billionaire playboy. Like, he's got a singing voice. That's his voice. You could not convince me that it's not. I'm opening it, man. I want whatever's in there. Worth. Anyway, that's pretty much like all I got. Hero font, sure, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Lucky toe, nothing wrong with it. I mean, we're kind of cruising, let's be real. Good angel deal chances in our future. This is all but sewn up. I say that occasionally and we lose on an Azazel run, but I don't think it's going to happen here. You know what? Because there's a hero font and we have the Yera. Hear me out here. I've actually got a genius idea. I might be the smartest person on the planet. I'm kind of like, I'm feeling myself today. First off, we're going to double up all this money. Thank you for clearing a path, hopefully. Question mark card. Ooh. Nothing wrong with that. Smart play. Now give me one of these. What happens next? We swallow our trinket. Spirit heart, thank you. Hey! Angel? Angel. Closer than my peeps you are to me. Okay, next step. Step on it. This is your good payout. That's too much money. Okay, I have to leave. Now just give me a second here. This is where things are going to get mighty interesting. We should leave Yera in there. I don't care. I know I picked up a little extra money. We'll leave Yera in here. I don't know if this... We're just going to leave Yera in here. I don't know if this is going to set us up for life, but it could be kind of fun. That's my hope. My hope is that this is kind of fun. Now, we don't need to double the Hierophant card. Although, to be honest, it would be nice to get the effect of one card and then carry the other card with us, I suppose. So sure, let's drop it. Then double everything. It's not the most money you'll ever see in your life, but it's useful for what we're going to use it for. I suppose if we wanted to, we could just teleport right now and then try to fight the lamb. I think we'd probably be fine, honestly, but okay, forget that money. Then use one Hierophant card. The Hierophant. Use your question mark card. Question mark. Use your question mark card. And then we just got 2 extra iterations there. Raised our angel deal chance. Completed our key piece. Then, this is where the real beauty comes in. Okay? This is where things get real. I don't think this item, like the urn, is that good for us. When you consider that with Azazel, we got to get pretty close to enemies just to do damage to them. But, I'm having fun with this, so just relax, okay? Just chill out. He may eventually explode and not give us any more charges. Or, surely there's a way that he can pay out with an item, right? Remember, like, the only thing I can say about this is not a situation where you're looking at one specific point on the graph. This is a situation where you're looking at the area under the curve. Every charge that he gives us is not one charge closer to getting to 7. It's one charge closer to getting to 7 and one charge closer to getting to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. Okay, so the battery has got to be like just the worst thing you could possibly get there. Life goes on, though. Not gonna cry about it. I'm mostly like, I'm just trying to get the highest possible number of wisps we can get just because it's kind of fun. So, you know, when it works, great. If it doesn't work, then so be it. Life goes on. Thinking maybe we got an item room down here. No such luck, okay? Still, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Jim Carrey and how you gotta hand it to him. I said under no circumstances do you have to have it to him, hand it to him. I don't know. I mean, it's a complicated subject. Why do people not like Jim Carrey sometimes? Well, he was in a very long-term relationship with Jenny McCarthy, who is one of the horsemen who's ushered in the, you know, relative downfall of modern society because of her, you know, very open personal views about vaccinations. We don't necessarily have to get into that. It's really up to you, I suppose. But I also, maybe this is a slightly controversial take, okay? When a celebrity... I mean, I wish that they shared all of my opinions. I wish the celebrities whose work I enjoyed also shared all of my opinions. But, and well, before we even get to the but, when a celebrity commits a crime or like a substantially morally objectionable offense, I understand when they get crucified in the court of public opinion. You know, it's what they deserve. But when and I always came back to this with Meatloaf, and we talked about it on stream. Meatloaf died, right? Meatloaf, I didn't even know that he was, let's just call him the Jenny McCarthy of his county, perhaps. But for years, I've talked about how Meatloaf keeps getting, well, prior to his death, like once every couple of years, he would do like an interview and they would ask him like, hey, in an interview like 6 years ago, you said climate change wasn't real. Have you changed your mind? And he would say like some really ignorant stuff about climate change. And I found myself occasionally getting riled up like, Meatloaf, what do you... Then I realized I'm getting rage baited by these reporters. Essentially, they're asking someone who has no concept of ecology at all, not to be rude to the estate of Meatloaf, but it's like you're asking a singer, you know, what he thinks of like global CO2 emissions. He doesn't know. I'm not saying that, oh, hold on, we can actually teleport out of here. I'm not saying that he should, you know, come up with his own conclusion and not just, you know, trust scientific consensus of professionals that have trained their whole lives to like, you know, understand what they're talking about and actually like live their days doing that instead of singing I would do anything for love but I won't do that at like whatever casino offered the highest bang for their buck. I'm merely suggesting that on top of all that, obviously, the reporters gotta stop asking, man. Who cares what Meatloaf thinks about CO2 in the atmosphere? I also would like him to agree with me if he's gonna give his opinion. But he doesn't know what he's talking. It's like asking a child, you know, what they think about income tax. They're not going to know. They're going to hit you with some kind of take that is probably steeped in ignorance, which is fair because they are ignorant. So the same thing I kind of feel like, you know, when somebody commits like a physical act of violence or like a crime or something like that, and people are like, you got to separate the art from the artist. I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, they seem like a genuinely like an evil person. When somebody is maybe scientifically illiterate and also open about it, there is a part of me that's like, come on, I can still watch Dumb and Dumber. I can still watch Eternal Sunshine. Just stop talking about your opinions on things that are not like, you know, doing an impression. I know you're gonna hit me with the shut up and dribble, but it's not even that. It's just like, I guess maybe if you're an actor, you would see that as like a double standard. So you're like, what? Oh, Richard Roper gets to give his opinion on all these movies, but I can't give my opinion on, you know, I don't know. But just, the reporters, I think, have to stop asking. Like, Meatloaf obviously didn't know what he was talking about with respect to climate change or, you know, epidemiology. But like, oh, do you have a birth roll rune, you fool? At the same time, I choose to not, you know, erase that from his legacy, but rather look at it in context, which is, if he was a scientist, he would have been an absolutely terrible scientist. One of the worst, for sure. But he wasn't a scientist. He was a singer. And in that realm, he was better than one of the worst. I'm not even trying to insult Meatloaf. It would be a lie to say he's one of my favorite artists, but, you know, he's got some slappers. Including I Would Do Anything for Love, which you may have mistakenly thought I was making fun of earlier. But if I had the opportunity to see Meatloaf perform that at the River Rock Casino in Richmond, British Columbia, you bet I would have taken you up on it. Hold on, we're party rocking. What the heck? I exploded? That must be... Oh, maybe actually the bomb hit a fire or something? I don't know what had. Whatever. We're still fine. And look at the freaking wisps, man. Look at the wisps. Again, I'm not trying to let the celebrities off the hook for their bad takes. If anything, I don't know if any genuine celebrities are listening to this. Probably not. But you may one day be a celebrity. We've inspired a few of the modern generation YouTubers and Twitch streamers. You may one day find yourself in a celebrity position. You never know. If that happens, and somebody asks you how you feel about, you know, what the Fed should do with respect to, you know, using their interest rate lever to control inflation, you should just say, and I quote, "Yeah, I don't really know anything about all that, but my new album comes out on Tuesday." And I think you would save yourself a lot of trouble. I think it's kind of unrealistic to expect people that have spent their whole life in like a fame bubble where everything is provided for them and nothing is real, and they never, I don't want to say they never have to work for anything, but it's not the real world, right? It's unreasonable to expect them to have perfect opinions that, you know, line up with the, not both like, you know, good sense, but also like scientific consensus, you know? Meatloaf, how would he have time for that when he's got to memorize all the lyrics to Paradise by the Dashboard Lights? That thing is like, you know, 12 minutes long. You expect him to be like, "Let me sleep on it, baby, baby, let me sleep on it. And did you know that the Antarctic ice shelf is also at risk of crumbling during the wintertime?" The wintertime, not even the summertime. I got my papers mixed up. You know, like, again, I'm not trying to give people like a one-size-fits-all excuse for bad takes. I'm just trying to give them like a some size fits some for excuse for bad takes. You shouldn't be asking, man. That's the thing. Any askers in the chat? You got a scientist and you giving them an interview? It's just, you might think there's a double standard, but I actually get offended the other way. When they have like a scientist do an interview and they're like, "What's your ideal Sunday afternoon?" I'm like, I don't give a crap. Tell me whether or not we're all gonna die. But then when they have Meatloaf give an interview, I'm like, you know, I don't really care about his thoughts on methane emissions. I'm more like, you know, hey, what was it like to work with Jim Steinman? Anyway, kind of went off there. Again, this is what happens when we got no anecdotes. But I know there's no point in apologizing, because you know what, people, they're gonna enjoy that one. I hope. Hey, stop hitting my wisps. I need those to feel something. My wisps? Excuse me, my wisps? Excuse me, all of my wisps? Alright, so how do we take this run through to, like, not being embarrassed territory by losing an Azazel run at the end? It's pretty simple. Like, if you can, what? You stepped on a wisp? Reroll those devil deals if they're not so good. Maybe pick up one or two that help you out a little bit, and then just coast through to the finish line, and we're cruising, man. Or we could just fight Mega Satan, I suppose. These are all good. That's a problem. I think we also take Horf. That's nothing. It's not a good pill nor a bad pill. What was the point? Parathromi? A complete waste of everybody's time? Dude, I'll fight Mega Satan. I don't care. I'm hoping Battery Baby could maybe give us some wisps. Otherwise, we probably should have taken the opportunity to get like a wisp charge. Or tried to, like, charge up our candle. But our candle's got to be giving us some benefit, right? Like a 0.4 tears upgrade or something? Until we get hit? That's something. I just realized how unbelievably slow we're going right now. Is this normal? Something doesn't seem right. God, I always do this! Yo, Belly Jelly, thanks for the save. I know it sounded like I was going to thank them for the gifted subscriptions, but no, thanks for the save. There goes my freaking candle, man. I know you get all stats up. I've realized this is kind of like the super auto pets phenomenon. You know, people, they got like low respect for stats and high respect for like what it says that the animal does on the tin. So they'll be like, you got melon armor on your 50-50 blowfish. And I'm like, yeah, because it's more important that it hits for 50 2 times than you know, getting 2 extra damage from 1 extra hurt trigger or something like that. But the same thing is kind of true in Isaac. I can't believe he didn't get hit by the dang bombs there. The same thing is kind of true in Isaac. People will be like, you know, you get a stat upgrade when you stand inside of the hollowed ground. Yeah, you know, in Ikaruga, if you stand at where you can hit the boss and shoot as much as possible, they'll take more damage. Hey, did you also know that if you stand in one place in Isaac, or in Ikaruga for that matter, you'll be freaking dead in, like, you know, less than a minute? You gotta focus on a defense first kind of system in most of these runs. Some runs you might be able to make it work. Most runs you gotta be a little bit, you know, HP has to come first, or sometimes not at all. Okay, battery baby. Just let me get the wisps for the final fight. Then it will all have been worth it. You notice that our tears kind of look like the cigarette they roll in Pineapple Express, or is that just me? What do you mean that's not a cigarette? My editor's telling me that's not a cigarette? I thought the whole movie was about 2 guys who really like to smoke cigarettes. Is that not true? My earpiece? My earpiece is telling me that's not true. Okay, I apologize. Apparently it's about a Daewoo Lanos. Who knew? There was one summer in college, I watched a movie at the theater like every weekend with a roommate of mine. I'm here to tell you, of the movies that we watched at the theater that summer, Pineapple Express was definitely one of the best. We also, I don't remember all of them too well. I remember seeing Machete, which I actually don't know if that was a summer jam now that I think about it, but it was the same crew. My Dangerous Nights crew. We watched Machete. Very disappointed. I expected a self-aware action movie steeped in the tropes of the 80s and 90s. What I actually got was something surprisingly self-serious. Despite having Steven Seagal obviously involved on the cast. But the worst has got to be, we saw The Mummy 3. Not the Tom Cruise one, which is also not good, but the Jet Li one. I know you're going to be like, what? There was no Jet Li mummy? No, there was. The Curse of the Dragon Emperor? Or something like The Rise of the Dragon's Tomb? Extreme waste of time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. That was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!